love, peace, and happiness. Beautiful night, beautiful light, and welcome back to Love, Peace, and Happiness Tarot. Coming to you live once again from Las Vegas. I go by Melinda NailFanatic. So if you're here, it's by divine design. Where it resonates, pick it up and run with it. Where it doesn't, leave it where you found it. Either way, make your choices and decisions responsibly today, because you'll always have the consequences and repercussions to pay. All right, you have questions, I have answers. You can find the facts on the website and underneath the video in the description box. Okay, so we're starting off with the Oracle of Shadows and Light, and what we pulled is card number 41. Somebody's 41. Okay, somebody that lives in unit 41. Okay, the number 41 is significant for somebody. You've been seeing it, hearing it. Okay, that's definitely happening here. I also, with the 41, it's showing me Hierophant energy. It's showing me as the Emperor materializing, Emperor, Magician, Hierophant. I'm like, this is this is talking about utilizing your authority, your power, your decisiveness, your leadership abilities. This is talking about strategizing and planning everything according to what your desired outcome is. This is talking about taking the action steps, putting the physical force behind the idea. Behind the idea, using your magic. And then the card itself is called the Nautilus Princess, and she talks about powerful personal growth. And so I see that as you take decisive action and leadership to go ahead and materialize yourself. Oh, and I just heard, be the change you want to see. I heard, be the change you want to see. You don't like something, baby, you're the only one that can do something about it. If it's somebody else's fault, you literally can't do nothing about it. So first off, we're going to take ownership of it. We're going to hold ourselves accountable for our experience. And then we're going to strategize this situation. Okay, if this is how energy works, what's the most efficient and effective way to utilize the energy at my disposal in this situation for the desired outcome, for the best for all involved? I heard. Okay. And then it's not just an external thing. I heard it's the 98%. 98% is mental focused energy. 2% inspired action. Lining the energy up before the physical action is taken. Lining the mentality of it up. After all, the first thing that we learn about when I read the Kabbalion was about how the universe is mental. So it's all of the mind. Okay, so first off, you do it mentally, line the energy up, see it successful, and then you take the physical action. This is a time of powerful personal growth. It is something that you have had to take the lead in. Nobody else can do it for you, baby. I cannot personally, powerfully grow you. Like, that's just not how this shit works. You're going to have to jump in at some point and get pretty active for your own personal growth. And this is powerful personal growth, which further lets me know that you're on that tip. Like, you're doing the dang thing. What up, Michelle? I see you. Okay. So, let's get into the next deck. So that's our overall energy, the powerful personal growth with the Nautilus Princess. I did see using the metaphysical cannabis oracle cards. So we're going to get high, and you're going to get high, high, high. Okay, because it's Friday. You ain't got a job. You ain't got shit to do. Somebody's laughing. Who just watched Friday? Who hasn't watched Friday at all yet? We might need to add that to the movie list. If you ain't seen Friday yet, That might need to be on your movie night list. I'm just saying, okay, because it's a good laugh. All right, but Friday, was you born? Wait, it wasn't me because I was born on a Saturday. Somebody was born on a Friday. Okay, and then I just saw Friday like fried, like fried rice, fried chicken, fried eggs. Okay, fried day. Somebody is completely fried. Oh, did you fry yourself because you were doing so much? You were trying so hard from the physical. Oh yeah, I heard you to burnt yourself out. Doing everything on the physical. You took every class, every cleansing, you to buy every crystal, you to buy every incense, every sage. You make sure you track the moon and the calendar and the sun and the stars and all the other celestial bodies. You burnt yourself out. Somebody burnt theirself out by I hear tracking the reflection. Trying to get ahead of it by tracking the reflection. Remember, all of it is just a mirror, baby. You're creating this reality. You're co-creative in this reality, yes. And so because of that, everything you see externally is the after effect. Yes, even the planetary movements and stuff. The more aligned you are, the more you're going to see how the planetary movements are supportive of the energy that you yourself instituted. I heard, what is that word? Why conflagrated? I heard conflagrated. Hold on, I don't know that word. Why are you giving me vocabularies I don't know? Why do they do that? Let's see what conflagrated means. Conflagrated definition. Wow. Conflagrated means having been burned down or destroyed by fire. Wow. I heard, because this girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. Okay, that's what I heard. This girl is on fire. So listen, conflagrated, so you burnt down the old energy so you can build the new energy up, but it goes hand in hand with what we were saying. You're feeling burnt out, baby. Burnt out. Why? Because you didn't put in the work. I heard what. So now that you get that there are benefits to doing the work in other ways other than just focus solely on the physicality, then now you see yourself putting in less physical work because I'm getting a higher output. I'm hearing it's a higher output. We're going to use the pride tarot. It's a higher output in the physical work. You're accomplishing more. What they say, work smarter, not harder. Love and peace and happiness. Yeah, you working smarter, not harder, baby. You putting it together. Smarter, not harder. Doing the work before you go to work. Hello, doing the work before you lift a finger. You're doing it mentally. You saw yourself with a successful outcome. Somebody's here like, I don't know how I'm gonna get it. Well, keep saying that, and you'll continue to not know. But they said if you pay attention during the show, this is the recipe, though. Okay, you sit there, you lay there, or however you choose to position your body, but it's from that high flying place. Like, damn, I had a great day today. Okay, today was a good day. Somebody like that old school rap because it keeps coming through. But yeah, today it was a good day. Ice Cube coming through. Okay, somebody, that's their song. That's their theme music. Okay. Mama cooked the breakfast. No hog. Hello, but I'm just saying that maybe at your house, but the fact of the matter is, like, you figured out a recipe. You're figuring it out. If you hadn't already, you're here for the recipe, baby, to get it together. To get it together in an easier, more streamlined process. Hello, to get it together in a way so that way you don't have to burn yourself out to get it done. Yeah, they said, but the conflagration of it all was actually beneficial because they're showing me precious metal, gold and silver, and they're showing me how it's refined by fire. Its purity content is increased. They require fire to separate it. Yeah, fire going separated. So this fire giving me passion. I'm hearing passion. Yeah, you got real passionate with your crystals and your chakras and your classes. You got certificates from this. I heard out the wazoo is what they gave me, the word wazoo. You got so many certificates that they said that's why everything started falling over. They got so many certificates, it's falling off the walls. Ain't no more place to put it. They falling out your certificate album. So many certificates on the wall, and you're wondering to yourself why it still ain't happened yet. Why is it still not happening yet? Because the mental work that you're doing is focused on the not happening. Yeah, they're saying what's happening, what's happening. Somebody was born in East LA, because that was born in East LA. Okay, what the movie Born in East LA, the old Cheech and Chong movies coming to my mind. All right, so yeah, they're saying that you had to be purified. You had to purify, but you burnt yourself out, baby. You burnt yourself out doing too much of the physical realm work and not enough from the emotion body, from the mental body, from the energetic body. They're showing me that the emotions and the mental are keys to working from the energetic body, and that's what we're truly seeking, is the way I'm hearing. That's what we're truly seeking. So I've got these two decks shuffled up, and we're gonna see what experience is coming out in this here and now. We got the Queen of Swords. Ooh, Queen of Swords and conjuring with the legacy. You conjuring a legacy, baby. You've been speaking up a legacy. You decided at some point in the past, you were like, I'm finna leave a whole legacy. I'm the cycle breaker. I'm the first millionaire in the family. I'm the first billionaire in the family. I'm the first entrepreneur. I'm the first one to graduate college. I'm the first one to do whatever you did. You decided, and you decided that you were gonna do something new to contribute a new check them off box, a new option in your family line. Okay. Yeah, you are very decided, and somebody here, you just the first one that got some kind of boundaries, because ain't a whole lot of boundaries in your family. Yeah, somebody here, you the first one to have that powerful tree of life. You partake of the 420. That's what's up. But the thing of it is, this is somebody is a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. It doesn't have to be. This is somebody who learned boundaries. So this lets me know that in prior days and years and weeks and months, you been a pushover, but you was a whole pushover. Oh my Lord, why were you so easy to push? Everybody just come push you right over. Well, why don't you just throw yourself off that bridge for me? Okay, here, I'll do that for you, no problem. Listen, stop it. You did stop it. You were like, hold on, why am I finna throw myself over this bridge for them? Now, nobody literally asked you. If somebody literally asked you to throw yourself off the bridge for them, clearly you didn't, because you're sitting here listening to me now. Stop laughing at me. Why are you laughing so hard? Okay, yeah, now you're laughing with me. But yeah, you decided that no matter what, you could be a good person, a decent person, and not have everybody control you, which way to go and what to do, and all of that stuff. Yeah, it's like you had to learn to. Oh, look, as she blowing out the smoke from the bone, what I see is her speaking it out. You had to learn to speak up for yourself. You did. You figured out how to speak up for yourself, say what's on your mind, say what works for you. We love it. Yes. Love and peace and happiness. That's what I'm talking about. You had to speak up for your own, because they were worried about their own. They weren't worried about yours and how you were going to feel later and how that was going to affect your life or nothing like that. So this is something you figured out. And again, with that, you decided, I'm creating something here different for my line, for my people, for my children. Some said my children will never go through this mess because I'm finna knock it out right now. And you did, and you are, and you have, and you do it. And you saw the change that needed to take place, and you became the change. And we're proud. We're so proud of you. Yes, we're so proud of you. Get it, girl. Okay. So again, first, you had to learn how to put your foot down, how to speak up for yourself, not to get railroaded, not to get dominated by any old buddy that step up. You know how, yeah, okay, so this is part of it for somebody. You're dealing with children and you sure trying to get them children disciplined. It's a challenge. I'm going to tell you right now, I know it's a challenge. I see it's a challenge. I'm with you. It is a challenge. And you know why? Because you don't want to raise no little punk. You don't want to raise some little punk where any old buddy could come step up in your dominating. I'm the one to tell you what to do, shoes, when you step out. Because at some point, that child going to leave your house. They're going to grow up. You going to die. You going to leave. Whatever happens, you're going to change your point of focus. You're going to stop helicoptering them, whatever it is. Point of matter is that child's going to go. And what you don't want is that child to have that hole of who's going to pick everything for me. They need to pick for themselves. They need to decide for themselves. They need to, strategize for themselves and all that. So there's a whole experience with that where it's like trying to raise children that have a level of respect for authority figures and stuff, but at the same time, don't lose their individuality, their free thinking. They can maintain their free thoughts and their individual voice and, their personal character as opposed to just becoming somebody's puppet. I'm your puppet. Yeah, no, not around here, baby. We don't play that way. Not no more. Anyways, if we was somebody puppet before, these cards are telling me we ain't nobody puppet no more. So let's see what else we got. Ooh. Okay. So now you figured out some boundaries and some borders. So now you got the Two of Cups in the seduction card. Hello. Now you're all in love. Okay. And then I heard love. Never knew what I was missing. Apparently you didn't. Somebody here is falling in love. Okay. Could it be I'm falling in love? Okay. Somebody's falling in love. And here's the thing: while you find in love, this is a temptation is here, baby. There's a temptation is here. Somebody in the past, you had a whole lot of emotionally unavailable assholes. I'm just gonna be real with you. That's what I heard: emotionally unavailable assholes in your past. Now somebody coming in, they really want you because I just heard I wanna, yeah, yeah, I want that lady. Get it, get it, get it. Okay, Keysway, get out of here. But yeah, that's the energy. Somebody here really is enticed with you. You have an attraction for this person. Are you trying to be a seductress? I heard you ain't even got to do all that because you didn't fantasize your way into this experience. You fantasized your way into this experience. For some of you, this is not a love with another person. For some of you, this is a love with the two sides of yourself coming together because you know what, this is so awesome. At one point when my daughter started this beautiful relationship she's in, she had heard, she had some clear audience popping, and it told her, the voice said, stay soft. And all my lady fella, my ladies, all my ladies, fellas, be calm down if you're a fella, but all my ladies can appreciate, you have enough masculine figures in your life do you wrong. You could turn into a cold hearted snake just like them. Okay, with Paula Abdul coming through. But somebody here, you have been, and now there's something here that wants to soften your icy heart. They want to melt your icy heart. I told that to my friend's um daughter-in-law. She said, Melinda, you don't have an icy heart. Shh, don't tell no one. That's my secret. Don't tell them. Let them think. Okay. But in this situation, somebody here, you had an icy heart in the past. And you were like, no. Why though? Because you've been through some real messed up lovers. Somebody here, you so here's the thing: you set out to create this legacy, you set out to make this change, you set out this plan in the past, you call it out, you're like, this is what I'm doing. So then, okay, exactly what you want shows up. so that you could do it. But here's the thing: it's some challenge in it with the seduction card. It's some challenge with because seduction requires that you overcome the lower vibrational aspects of yourself in it. Yeah, we it ain't all about the flesh, baby. So let's say you decided you were going to be, I want to be a billionaire so freaking bad. Okay, so you decided you were going to do that. So did you think that by making that intention and affirmation and or saying that prayer to the divine that all of a sudden they were just going to drop $1 billion in your account and boom, it was just going to show up? Well, it could. I believe that stuff like that could happen. However, in most cases, what the loving divine will do is make sure that when you get your $1 billion, you know how to grow it, maintain it, utilize it, in the wisest, most upbuilding, most fulfilling and satisfying ways, satisfying to you. Right. And so, in order to do that, now you've got to be a vibrational match for the $1 billion. Somebody here, your big intention was you were going to have a beautiful, loving relationship that just aligns on all the different aspects. Okay, all the different facets. So that means y'all are mentally in tune, you're spiritually in tune, you're sexually in tune, your food habits is similar enough, stuff like that. Okay, well then you had to be a vibrational match to that. So that how does that all happen? It happens by a training process. You set this intention out. I want to be a billionaire. I'm going to be the first business owner. I'm going to have this great relationship. Okay, great. You set the intention. Now you got to become it. Because we started that off with the channel message talking about you knew what change you wanted to see. And so you decided to be the change you wanted to see. Oh, that part. You wanted that partner that's so beautiful, so aligned with you, baby. You had to be aligned with you to be aligned with somebody who could be aligned with you. Hello? Most of us is, I heard the words discombobulated. Baby, most of us are so discombobulated from ourselves. And then we try to figure out why nobody can't get us and understand us. Baby, because you don't get or understand your dang self. Trying to be a billionaire. Meanwhile, you hate money, hate everybody that got money, hate what people do with their money, and you think you set to be a billionaire, honey. You got too many anti-money ideas if that's you. So what's gonna have to happen in that case, and you want to be a billionaire and you got these anti-love energies going with money, you're gonna have to develop the attractive energies, the attractive mentalities to money. If you want to have this beautiful partnership, but you're afraid to show somebody what you're really about. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to learn to come out, be authentic, be true, so that way they can see who you are when they meet you. You know what I'm saying? So they can recognize you. Oh, that reminds me of a poem that my twins sent me. I think it was Blue Silverstein poem. I think it was called poem. Um um Masks. Thank you. Okay. It's a very short, simple poem from Shel Silverstein, and it's called Masks. Okay. And it says, hold on. I'm pulling it up. It says, she had blue skin, and so did he. He kept it hid, and so did she. They searched for blue their whole life through, then passed right by and never knew. Why? Because they were too busy carrying the dang masks. The masks. Wearing masks. Baby, you got to take the mask off and show a person who you really are. So in this situation, somebody here, I see that you've been by yourself for a while. You could be a divorcee with that Queen of Swords sitting up there. Somebody a divorcee, and you finally decided, hey, you know what? I'm gonna let this person see who I really am. I'm gonna actually let my real personality show to this person right here in front of my face. Whatever it was that enticed you, you felt safe to do it. You felt like Maybe I don't want to wear a mask to this party. Somebody went to a masquerade ball and you just being a whole rebel, and your mask didn't hide your face at all because you wanted somebody to be able to see you. And then what do you know? You bumped into somebody else who could see you and they didn't have a proper mask on either. And then y'all just clicked like that. But that's what life is like. Life is like a giant masquerade party, especially in these streets today, baby. They all fake in the front, hiding who they really are. Just like I did when it was like I told Bree, I said, "Y'all, you melt my icy heart." She said, "Melinda, your heart ain't icy at all." I said, "Shh, don't tell no one. That's my secret." Okay, so we all have some kind of mask because I would just talk about a mask for myself when I said that. So there you go. But in this situation, somebody here is taking off the mask, okay, because they want to be seen for who they are. They want to be appreciated for who they are. Okay, so let's see what's the hidden blessing in this. Is the Seven of Cups in the change, baby. The hidden blessing in this experience is you have. Ooh, okay, Mariah coming through. I had a vision of love, and it was all that you given to me. Okay, I heard pray through the night, felt so alone, suffered from alienation, carried the weight on my own, had to be strong. So I believe, and now I know I succeeded in finding the place I conceived. So this is it. The hidden blessings is you conceived this change. Again, Seven of Cups, that's the Make-A-Wish card. Seven of Cups, that's the Make-A-Wish card. This is where you decided to put the billionaire on. This is where you decided to put the lover energy on. This is how you decided to put the entrepreneur energy on, baby. You just turned the switch on and became it. And the hidden blessing is that it caused the swirling of the energies in the universe, and you started attracting something else to yourself that was a match to what you put on. You may not have known how to do it. Seven of Cups can also lead to options and questions and trying to understand some things sometimes. And that's exactly what it's showing me. Like you pondered, what would that change be like? Okay, how do I become that? And then what do you know? Ask a question like that. And then the universe, somebody said, how do I become a successful, thriving entrepreneur? And just left the question. If I ain't taught you nothing, I hope I teach you how to use these questions, baby. Because questions could be so helpful. If somebody want to know, what does a loving, divinely aligned partnership based in love and fun feel like? How does that happen? Those are some great questions to ask to any who are been wanting to attract that into their life. Somebody asked, what does it feel like to fall asleep and wake up and eat and shit and play and drive as a multi-millionaire or a billionaire? And you know what? Somebody, that was the main thing that they knew how to do, was just to question the universe, and then don't decide what the answer is, but let life train it into you. And that's literally part of what helped you make the change, because you had an idea of what you wanted. You had options out there. You were looking at options, baby. You were looking at options. And I love that this Seven of Cups has the rainbow. You could have been, like I said, you were, yeah, you working hard on it. Yeah, baby, you were working hard for the money. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you were working hard getting it. Some of you, like I said, working hard on your chakras. You had all the crystals. You did all the classes, all that stuff. That's the kind of energy. Um, and why? Because this change means that much to you. Yeah, Sam Cooke coming through. Okay. I was born by the river in a little tin whirlwind. Just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh yes, it will. Oh yes, it will. Let me see. What's the challenge? Oh, I'm so glad I said what I said when we seen the first card. I was talking about the emperor, and look at the challenge is the emperor in the sorcery. This is exactly the inner. Oh my. Hello. Hello, you can't make this up because I swear to God, I told you magician energy and emperor energy off the 41 up here at the top of this card when we first started this whole session. Hello. Love and peace and happiness. Getting it in, baby, because here's your emperor that I was talking about, and here's the magician energy I was talking about. It's sorcery and it says revolution. Yes, baby. This is exactly what I was talking. So what's the challenge? To take the lead. Move the energy. Don't wait for somebody else to start the revolution, baby. You got to kick this revolution off. If you don't make it happen, ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. Hello? Yeah, you're the power here. You're the authority here. You're the source of the movement. Be the change you want to see. You have to be the movement, baby. You have to take the lead, strategize, plan it out, get organized, put some stuff into motion. But again, 98% aligning energy work, and then 2% inspired action. That's a recipe for success every time, because once you put you go about your everyday life, do the necessary things so you know you ain't doing no dumb stuff. Like, so you got a job and you're materializing being a billionaire, but right now you making 14.59. Somebody's literally making 14.59, or I would not have said those numbers. 14.59 an hour at your paycheck job. That does not mean just lay on your sofa and don't go to your $14.59 an hour job until all of a sudden the billion just shows up. That is not what it means. Do the stuff that makes sense, because you're going to actually repudiate this energy by doing something like that, because your consciousness is too already set up to the idea, well, if I don't go to work, then I'm going to get fired and then I'm not going to have an income. So that's going to be playing on the other side of the brain. So the challenge is to do the everyday thing, but know that you the boss, you the king, you the emperor, you the energy bringer, honey. To delegate the energy. Look, the king, I love it. She's a female king. Let me just say that. She's a female emperor. Hello. But she's sitting back in her throne. Alignment. Is she ready for anything? She got her armor on, she got her cape on, she got a sword in her hand, she got a scepter in the other hand, she got her crown on. She's ready for whatever comes. We go into the ball, we can go. We go into the war, we could go. We go into the battle. What are we going to do? We go into the show, that's fine. We could do that too. She ready for whatever has to go, whatever she has to do, but she's still sitting in her throne. She's sitting in her position of power. Hello? Sitting in her position of power. I heard and lead and delegate wherever it's not yours to do. Hold on, that's a whole thing, because that was part of the boundary thing. Wherever it's not yours to do, you delegate that shit. Let the person who's supposed to do it handle their business. You know why you have more business to mind? Because you busy minding your business. If they was busy minding their business, they'd have more business to mind too, instead of being busy minding your business. And that's why they ain't got no business to mind, because they're just focused on your business. And thanks, that just helps my business grow. I appreciate it. But I had that. I still got that. Whether you do it or not, I'm focused on I'm busy minding my business. And so my business keeps growing, thriving. Yeah. I also see with this sorcery and this emperor in the challenge position, it's like, baby, when you get new levels of authority, when you get greater awareness of your powers and your ability, like that that presents a total challenge to some folks, and to all of us, especially in the beginning, for the simple fact that, baby, you got to get used to wielding this power. what they say, the heavy is the head that wears the crown. Yes, honey, when you got this kind of leadership ability and ability to draw it in, like you got to get comfortable with this power. You got to get comfortable with this money. You got to get comfortable with this love. You got to get comfortable. Somebody here, you got to get comfortable with having an emperor in your life, because somebody, this emperor is challenging the heck out of you. Yeah. And somebody here, you having a challenge to maintain. I heard your character. Well, you got this emperor around you. Aries energy for somebody, absolutely. Hmm. And you could be saying, is this really what I want? Okay. But you're gonna have to decide and declare and delegate and take that action. Yeah. The current challenge for you is to be in this emperor energy and use your magic. In other words, be ready to take action on what needs action, but also make sure you're in that mind, body, soul alignment, that you've done the pre-paving work, that you align the work so it shows up in the physical reality, so that the energy you expend physically to go get something done, to handle business here and there, is well spent, instead of just spent. It's invested, and it comes with returns instead of just being spent and gone, so that the energy can circulate back to you, baby. Yes, you that we love recirculation and reciprocation. Circulation and reciprocation are great energies. Yes, and that's the type of thing here. Like, stand in your power. You got the decision. Somebody here, you got all the decision making power in this, and it can be like your first time having so much decision making power, that presents some challenges as well, when you're not used to being in that type of a position. So now let's see what's going on in the environment. You have the 10 of cups and the ego death. 10 of cups and the ego death. So anybody that you are have attracted in your environment, baby, they love the heck out of you. That's a 10 of cups. Everything is looking peachy king and beautiful in the environment. Do you want, if you wanted to know if somebody love you, yeah, they love you so much that the ego has just died. No, it doesn't really die, but it's not causing craziness no more, right? The whole idea that ego death idea is something that I have talked about many times. If we didn't need an ego, baby, God wouldn't have created us to have an ego. We wouldn't have been born, and have this ego in our life. But it's there, even with little children. It's there, and it's about balance and understanding its role that it plays, okay, in utilizing it for the type of feedback that it's created to provide, instead of trying to utilize it for some other purpose. You don't use an iron to make pancakes, I hope. You know what I'm saying? You definitely ain't using a light, but I hope you're not. Somebody got a freaking easy bake oven, because I was just about to say, you don't use a light bulb to make bacon. Somebody is doing it in their easy bake oven. If that's you, 10,000 points. Okay, yeah, because that's some crazy on the nose weird stuff that just came through. The ego comes with specific types of information. Somebody here is loving the way that this is going, because they're understanding. I'm hearing they're understanding themselves in ways that they had not ever before, and that's a huge deal. And there's so much appreciation here. I see love. I see somebody here having love on a two-way street, baby. That's the way I'm hearing it. You got love on a two-way street, okay? Yeah. And they said, and lost it on a lonely highway. I found love on a two-way street. Yeah, you could lose it on a lonely highway. So be careful about being lonely while you have a whole person or a whole family or a whole group of people to love, because that, sure, if you got, so perfect. Okay, so this lady I know was talking about how her clients uh asked her about her family, and she said, oh, I don't have nobody here. And so somebody else told her, well, you might want to be careful about saying that, because if you keep saying that, you're going to end up with nobody here. And the person was like, don't you got me and my whole family? And she was like, well, yeah, I didn't think about that. Okay, well, now think about it that way. And they make a good point. And this reminds me with different people that I've had relationships with, and they're like, on the phone or texting me, I miss you. And I'll tell them, hey, that's the whole ass that I can be. Telling them, be careful with that, because if you thinking too much about missing me when you got me, you gonna end up missing me. Hello. Love and peace and happiness. Gotta understand the way the energy flows. Let's see what's the guidance in this. We have the Four of Swords and the gratitude rampage. It's already happened. This is literally telling you to line up the energy of success in the situation. Lay in meditation, in appreciation, in gratitude. Why are you grateful for this? Why are you grateful for that? Why are you grateful for all of it? Okay, be in appreciation. Appreciation. And somehow it comes together, because the energy is going to draw it together. This works all the time. If you haven't been practicing it, in one of the more recent readings, it was brought through that, you should practice it. Find something. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the Starbucks came up, because that was one of my first things I used to utilize as a point of focus, and see how many Starbucks coffees I could get my clients to bring me by not asking for it physically with my, or verbally, but just by being grateful for it. And then, from there it turned into other things, and because you see that it works. So yeah, and why that I need to tell, I've had front row parking for so long. Like, that was one of the earliest ways that I could see my power, was because I will pull up at a place, the whole parking lot could be full, but I'm finna get right in front of the front door, front row parking, front door parking, whatever, and lines. Even at the stoplights, let's say it's three lines on the road. One side will have a whole line of cars, the other side will have a whole line of cars. I'll pull up, ain't no cars in front of me, and the light turns green. Or I'll be the first one in the restaurant, and then behind me, once I sit down and get my food, now it's a line out the door. But it wasn't there when I got there, because mm, I was aligned with that. So I took that energy, focusing in gratitude for what always works for me, and started looking at how it all always works for me. And that's the guidance that they're giving us, like 98% mental and emotional. Feel it. It's already happening. And if you got to remember that time is actually nonlinear, it's cyclical, and it's all happening at the same time. I think it's called string theory that says that. But yeah, there's a whole study about how time is simultaneously occurring. So that means right now you're a newborn, you're also a elder, and middle age, and it's all happening at once, but your consciousness is focused in this point of that simultaneously happening. And so, if that's true, then that means you already are the thriving entrepreneur. You already are the one in the amazing relationship. You already are the multimillionaire or the billionaire or whatever it was that you had decided back here you were going to make into your legacy. All right, let's go into the outcome energies. What do we have? We have the Three of Pentacles and accountability. I love that accountability comes out here with hisabi. Hisabi sounds like wasabi. I had to go buy some wasabi today. But anyways, and this accountability card looks like a strength card. Okay. So and there's a lion on here. So we got some Leo energy over here. Okay. So in the outcome, Three of Pentacles, cooperation. What you'll find is the energy will be cooperative with you. There will be cooperation in the what? Pentacles realm, the physical realm, in the realm that deals with other people, that deals with money, that deals with health, that deals with business. Pentacles deals with anything you could taste, touch, or feel. And then I like that in this image we have, this is like at the Pride Parade, and then there's proud mom poster and I love my trans child poster and free grandma hugs. Okay, so this is where sometimes it's cooperation from people that is not close to home, honey. I just want to throw that out there. Somebody, you needed to hear that. Um, yeah, because sometimes your closest family is not the one you were born into, babies. A lot of us were also born into very karmic families. Why? Because we needed all these lessons. That's probably why the boundaries came up. You needed to learn how to say no and put your foot down and all that stuff. Yeah. But as you learn how to utilize your mind power and your emotional power to pre-pave the way for the action that you take, meanwhile doing business as normal, business as usual, but with the attitude of gratitude, because I know that this mental stuff works. We live in a mental universe, and so it actually works. I've proven that to myself time and time again. So I'm just gonna do the old regular degular and know that I had to put some stuff into my life. I brought this to me, and then boom, it shows up. Okay, somebody's gonna be 3 days. I also see there's gonna be three significant happenings. All is confirmations, and I see somebody who's utilizing this energy of meditate and prepave the way, and you're asking for three signs of confirmation, and you're gonna get all three signs of confirmation, and then that's going to confirm that the accountability for that thing that you were blaming somebody else for, you're on point with whatever your idea was. Okay. hmm The accountability is everything, once again, because if it's somebody else's fault that you can't find love, like, do you know how many times I've been spoke to people and they believe that somebody else has more power in their love life than they do? They put a curse on my love life. I can't have no partners. Stuff like that. People believe that they curse against money, against health, against success, all kinds of stuff. Nobody has more power in your life than you, unless you decide that they do. And even in that, you're the power that gives them the power to do it. That's why accountability is everything. We've got to be accountable for our own beliefs, our own ideas, the way we move our energy. Love and peace and happiness. And that's what we're looking for, baby. How can we find all of that in every aspect, right? We got to lead the energy. We got to lead the energy. The energy is always going to follow our lead, like it or not. That's just how it works. If you don't know about it, it ain't doing you no favors that you don't. You know, if you don't know how the car works and you're getting in it trying to drive it, you just gonna have an accident every where, right? You need to know how to drive that car. You need to know how to drive that car before you can get anywhere. So accountability is everything. And you got to understand that you are the driver in your life. You are the lead. You are the one in charge. You're the HBIC, baby. You got it. Yeah. And then I hear, I love her 'cause she got her own. She don't need mine. She said, leave mine alone. Yes, you got your own energy. You don't need my energy. You don't need nobody else's energy. You got all the energy. It's in your hands to do with what you will. It's in your body. It's in your life. It's actually not all physically contained within this vessel. It's larger than the physical vessel, just so you know. And it reaches out with its little tendrils and touches all the other energies. But what is the message that you're sending out there into the universe, baby? It's all aligned from the mind and the heart. If you're spending your days in misery, you're going to want to find a way to find something that pleases you, something to laugh at, turn it into a joke. Make a joke out of it, baby, if you have to. Find some kind of way. You know what? Your car broke down today. Your car started giving you a problem. Well, at least you got a car, baby. Somebody ain't even got a car to give them no problems. You doing better than everybody out there that ain't even got a car to give them problems. Oh man, you had to pay for that bill. Well, at least you had the money to pay for the bill. A lot of folks don't even realize that they had the money to pay for the bill. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got that pain on the side of your face. Oh well, at least you can feel the pain. You're alive to feel the pain, and the pain usually means something is trying to heal in the body. So find a way to be in love and peace and happiness for everything you have. call it blessed, baby, because as you declare it, so shall it be. Let's get some of these oracle cards on this business over here. That's what I'm hearing. Get some of my handmade oracle cards out. See what else they're gonna give us. What other details will you share with us? Okay, it said feast or famine. Okay, listen, get out to the feast or famine mentality. Or is it that you need to decide? Is it feast or famine, baby? Which season are you in? Are you in feast or famine season? Because we feast over here. We feast real good. You know what? That one thing that I can always find a way to be grateful for. I get so excited about eating this good old food that I eat every day. Every day. I got a fridge and cabinets with so much food. I couldn't even eat all the food that's in this house before it expires by myself. So I had so much feasting going on that I had to prepare meals for the homeless and go buy some more giveaway little plastics so that I could go give the food away so it don't go bad. Are you in feast or are you in famine? Are you eating or not eating? Because, baby, not only do these nails be eating, these cards be eating, my mouth be eating, my car be eating, everything be eating around here. We eat. We eat. Okay. And we eat. And we eat. Mm-hmm. And we also have the using shadow traits in a light fashion to balance the situation. That's that Queen of Swords energy that came out first. Honey, sometimes you're going to have to just talk to them in a language they understand. Sometimes you're going to have to respond to them in the type of behavior that they understand. Sometimes you're going to have to be the bad guy because, you got to protect your energy. You got to protect your creation. You got to protect your space. Yeah. And they're not all going to like it. When you find that balance, and that's perfect because the Queen of Swords is that air sign energy, and she's giving me that Libra energy right now, and she's giving me that energy of balance with the scales, honey. They may not like it, but it is what it is, and you get to decide and declare. And sometimes you're gonna have to speak boldly, get a little bit aggressive. You're gonna have, yeah, there's times for that. And again, giving us that Emperor energy. So some of you, that just is showing me a lot about you, and it's saying to me that, again, like we start out, you've been a bit of a pushover because you want to be the kind person, the nice person. You want to stay in that love energy. But baby, a lot, being the pushover and disrespecting yourself is not love. The love don't really work right if you're just giving up yourself to the place of self disrespect in order to please somebody who's just mooching off of you, who just disrespectful. If they respect you, if the love is real on both sides of the table, they will respect your boundaries, and you'll never have to do this. But sometimes, yeah, sometimes you do. Mm-hmm. Look, and then I didn't break it. I didn't break it. I don't have to fix it. Love and peace and happiness. That's what I need to maintain, my love and peace and happiness. And you know what? It's my job not to allow that to be broken. So you, at some point here, I see, life gets better once you realize, like, baby, you can't fix somebody else mentality. You can't do it for them. You can only do it for yourself. And then, as you do that, sometimes they get mad, but it's not ultimately up to you. Fondness. Our final card coming out is fondness. Yeah. And then here's the thing, that beautiful relationship, somebody was materializing a beautiful relationship. Somebody was materializing a thriving, successful business. Somebody was materializing millionaire, multi-millionaire, billionaire energy. All this is steps to attaining that. I'll explain. But first, the bottom of this deck is elevate. You've exhausted all options on this level. So, honey, you've had to elevate yourself and elevate your game. New levels, new devils. You have a new devil that has shown up. And this devil energy could be any person in your physical experience who could have the challenges of mentality. Maybe they're the one that's always stuck in it's either feast or famine type of mentality. They could even say that, right? But you could trigger people when you share what you've learned, when you share how you live. If you anything like me, you do. But That's not my fault. If you're triggered, that trigger is yours. It's not mine. I say what I feel, I say what I know, I say what I think, and then the way you respond to it, I don't need to be accountable for your response. You're accountable for your response. Likewise, you can say and think and feel anything you want. That don't give me the right to act some sort of way to you. I had to choose how I respond to you, right? The shoe goes both feet need shoes, baby. I'm just saying. If the shoe fits, strap it on and run in it. But in this, like, you literally, it's showing. So this card shows 6 levels up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You up to level 4. Level 4, every box is checked. The next level ain't nothing checked yet, baby. On this level, there ain't no more for you to do on that basic ass level. It's time for you to elevate, go to the next level. And on the next level, it has something to do with maintaining those boundaries, maintaining the vision, not allowing OPP, other people's problems, to come on and get in the middle of where you're at with it, so that it can be fond of you because you maintain the focus to it so much that it must come through. And if that made sense to you, then this was totally your message. If it didn't, well, maybe next time. Maybe if you listen 10 more times. I don't know. That's not my problem. There ain't nothing I can do about it. Delivered the message. If it didn't make sense, rewind it. Hear it several more times until it all makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, maybe you just save the link and try next week or next month. I don't know. You're gonna do what you want to do. All I know is I absolutely love and adore the part of me that aligns with you. The golden thread that shines all the way through, called love and peace and happiness. And in the meantime, in between time, you can treat yourself at LPHtarot.com. As in love, peace, and happiness to you and yours. And of course, me and mine. Until next time. 감사합니다. Gracias. Later, baby. That's all, folks. And I'm out.